hopefully this is working now. We are having some technical difficulties, y'all. As is one to happen when it's live and we're relying on a third-party network, third-party source for broadcasting. So, anyway, we're talking about casting aspersions on the objective journalism, and when you do that, fantastic! Oh, fantastic! I can be heard. Awesome. Welcome, Dr. Jordan. Anyway, when you cast aspersions on the legitimate journalism, then that is the first step to despotism. And it's all about capturing the hearts and minds of the masses, and doing that, capturing the hearts and minds of the masses. When you have, let's say, for lack of better words, charismatic head of state that then tells his followers, "Oh, don't believe the media. They're out to get me. We're the only real media now. Oh, damn you have some problems here." And, I am not I'm certainly not, of the more liberal persuasion. I don't have a problem with people who are, naturally. I tend to be a bit of a centrist. And, but I smell a fucking rat when I smell one. Jesus. I grew up across the street from a cow pasture, and boy howdy, I know bullshit when I smell it. So that is something that we as in you, me, and the citizenry of this fine country, have got to look out for. Of course, it doesn't help that yet another Trump official is found with some damning ties to Russia. Jesus, what the fuck is going on with my country? Everybody's got ties to Russia now. Jeez. Man, what in the world is going on here? Maybe Trump has, maybe Trump is being blackmailed by Russia. I don't know. That's a conspiracy theory flying around right now, and I'm not trying to discredit it. I'm just, keep it until I see some citations. I'm going to remain skeptical. But oh geez, with this Michael Flynn fella, so he's got some shady ties to Russia, and then what's his name that's refusing to actually take the job? I wonder what his ties were. I mean, that's the cynic in me. What are his ties to Russia at this point? Anyway, so that's a bit unnerving, to say the very least. And of course, I know the right's going to be like, look, no. Come, let's talk about this like rational human beings. Not like, never mind, I'm not going to sling mud today. Oh, I'm too good a mood to sling mud today. Gee. Oh. This is a bit of a free-form show. I always invite the audience to chime in if I ever have an audience. What you do today? See, I got some more notes here somewhere. Yeah. So INS raids. That was big in the past couple of days. Actually catch the baby news? No, I did not. Unfortunately, because of work, I tend to not be able to keep up with things that are going on in real time, at least on the East Coast. And I only have so much time on the crapper to catch up with my news feed. So no, I did not catch up on it. I suppose I should at least get the gist of it. course, I'll try to do my due diligence, a little more than our president does, who obviously just gets his intelligence briefings from Fox News. Oh dear. Maybe I won't watch it. I did watch part of the debate between Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz, and my God, that was beautiful. That was what should have been the presidential debates. Quite honestly, that really should have been the presidential debates. I would not have minded Ted Cruz to be that Republican president. Yeah, it is what it is. I did support Bernie in the primaries. I wanted Bernie to get the Democrat nomination because I feel like, we needed an election between a Republican and a Democrat. We didn't need an election between a Republican and a crazy right-wing pseudo-fascist. Anyway, so yeah, I did catch part of that debate, and that was entertaining to say the least. And that's what I like about debate, and that's really a debate that's a model debate, right? Debate is an intellectual process. To, borrow some lines from Monty Python, it is an intellectual process where you have two opposing sides coming together and finding a compromise, in the spirit of finding some kind of a middle ground, You're not necessarily, trying to beat the other one over the head with your particular the merit and finding the merit and the problems in a particular argument, and that's the whole nature of it. And when you have a debate, it should be proper, and it should absolutely be. Absolutely be professional. It absolutely should be courteous. And I liked the way they ran that debate because, there's the formal rules of, you have 30 seconds, 60 seconds to respond, you have 45 seconds to rebut. And then, they actually took turns, and I loved that. They were having a good discussion, and they let it go, like, turn by turn. They're like, okay, well, you get another 30 seconds, and then you can have another 30 seconds. And they just kept going back and forth, and I liked that. I really enjoyed that. And that, to me, that shows a level of courtesy, that shows a level of professionalism. Those are the sorts of things you need to have in not only a legislator, but in a statesman as well. You could argue that they're one and the same, but anyway. Segue, non sequitur. This kind of goes back to my. I'm coming back in a roundabout way to what I was talking about with my trepidation, my worry over the state of the federal government at this point. I come from a culture, I mean, obviously I'm from the South with this accent. Obviously, and I come from a culture that distrusts government, that really does distrust government. And, most of my family were avid, I will say avid. Some of them will argue that they were not avid Trump supporters. They were sort of just holding their nose and voting for Trump. And I disagree with that after watching, and knowing certain people, especially my father. Wow, good grief. Big time Trump supporter, avid Trump fan. And I'm like, Dad, what is wrong with you? Didn't study history, that's one thing. But anyway, God bless him. Anyway, so being from the South, being from a culture of that distrusts government, I took that to heart growing up. My philosophy is you keep your friends close, your enemies closer, and your government closest of all. Government is force, government is power, and thus it must remain in check. Absolutely must remain in check. And that power, the executive branch is checked by the judicial branch, which is fantastic. It's working. It's working fantastic. Good. When I was younger, coming along, especially in the era of G.W. Bush, H.W. Bush, no, W. Bush, sorry, H.W. Senior. Coming along in the era of W. Bush, young Bush, young old Bush, because Jeb Bush is young Bush, I guess, but whatever. Anyway, so coming along in that era, I remember, and I became a big talk radio fan, not like super conservative talk radio fan, but I was very conservative leaning at the time. Sort of that capital L libertarian who is really just sort of a disenfranchised Republican in disguise. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people, having that, to say that they're not part of that crap, which is okay. I'm like, be yourself, be true to you. I mean, I look at myself, I'm, a bit of a centrist. I like to say I'm a lowercase L libertarian, I default to liberty, I default to personal freedom on most issues. On every issue, I default to that, and then I go from there. I elaborate from there and determine my opinion from a position of liberty and personal freedom. Sometimes you do need some government intervention, and I'm okay with that when it's necessary, when it's warranted. I like the idea. This is kind of unorthodox of me, considering, but I do like the idea of a universal, single-payer kind of healthcare system. I do like that idea. We already have that in this country, and here's the right argument, the right side argument, the Republican argument, is that we have that in this country already with Medicare, and the big one that bothers me is the VA. And for a long time, the VA has been mismanaged, misguided. It's been it's just in shambles. It's horrible the way we treat our men and women in uniform. It's pathetic. We are sending them overseas to fight and die, or in the more modern terms, to fight and get maimed. And I'm not going to get into motive here of oil, but we're sending these men and women to go to a faraway place and get shot up, and then they come back home, and when they get good care, they get good care. But when they don't get good care, which is pretty often, I mean, that to me, that is an insult. That that's right up there with this, with this Muslim ban. That is that is slapping Lady Liberty in the face and calling her a stupid bitch. That's what we're doing. That is that in my opinion, that is the position of this country at this point. And it's insulting to me as somebody who enjoys personal freedom, as somebody who loves freedom and loves this country. Somebody who did volunteer to defend this country, to fight for this country, to fight in. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. I volunteered to fight for this country, but we don't. Our military does not fight for this country. Our military fights in the name of this country. That's a very important distinction to make, I think, where we have a policy of interventionism, and we have since the 40s. Monroe Doctrine. Truman Doctrine. Monroe Doctrine. Jesus Christ. I can social studies today. Anyway, Truman Doctrine. Well, thank you. I like that. I like to think of it that way. It's the Truman Doctrine since the 40s has essentially been an issue of, we need to go and we keep the peace. We are Team America, world police, and that became apparent, all through the Cold War, up into through the Reagan era, into the 90s with Bill Clinton and the Bosnian conflict, Kosovo, Serbian conflict. All the Civil War kind of stuff going on in Eastern Europe in the 90s. That's sort of been our position as a quote-unquote superpower. We are a superpower, yes. We are a nuclear superpower. We are we lead the club. What is this? Oh yes. Oh yeah. That's a bad thing. Troops in Syria. Like, this is going to go well. Okay? No. Syria was actually kind of okay. It was my opinion. It was actually kind of okay for quite a long time, up until we sort of fucked it up just very recently. Spades are spades, and credit where credit is due. Barack Obama's policy of bomb first and ask questions later, which was the continued policy of George W. Bush, yes, to me is a very, very misguided foreign policy. I mean, seriously. It is the best terrorist recruitment program you could possibly hope for, is to have a foreign power, a superpower, coming to your land and dropping remote-controlled bombs on you, on your people, on your hospitals, on your men and women, on your mothers, on your sisters, on your brothers, your uncles, your fathers, your dads, everybody. Seriously. Let's look at this if the shoe were on the other foot. Okay, let's go back to 1986 and Red Dawn, or was it 83? I don't remember. Let's go back to the early 80s and a little movie I like to call Red Dawn, which is really, at the time, was far-fetched, but the way it worked was realistic. It was a far-fetched, way off the deep end sort of worst-case scenario, but it was our worst-case scenario. But think of this. If you had, what are you going to do if, say, the Soviet Union teamed up with China and North Korea and Cuba? Well, Cuba, it's the 80s, okay? It's Cuba, okay? It's the 80s. Cuba, Central America, all the little banana republics and so forth, the communist republics, whatever a communist republic is. Anyway, if say they all teamed up and took on the United States. What are you gonna do? I mean, they're coming in and they're dropping bombs on everybody. They drop bombs on the cities. They drop bombs on the towns. They drop bombs on the farms. They drop bombs on the railroads. What are you gonna do? And they're coming in and they're occupying. What do? Yeah, you fight. You fight. And, that's what they're doing over there. We're coming in as a superpower. We have completely, we have military superiority. We have military superiority. We're coming in and dropping remote control bombs on their houses and their hospitals. If they weren't radicalized before, they're gonna be radicalized at this point. Go back and watch, what was it, season 3 of Battlestar, where the Cylons came in and occupied, and the humans started blowing themselves up to try to blow up the Cylons? Same idea. Same idea. I'm not defending it. I'm not. But I am saying, hey, this makes sense. This is logical. Their reaction is perfectly logical. Absolutely logical. It's not out of the ordinary. So when you go into, say, Syria, a country we have destabilized, we destabilized Syria. We did that. Thanks, Obama. To throw in another tired meme. Thanks, Bush, too. Arguably, this is where it's at. This is rational human beings. We're having a rational conversation. We're having a good time, and mostly it's me talking, but I do keep an eye out for the feedback there. I enjoy you guys, and I appreciate it. And we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, about 5 o'clock Pacific, plus or minus, depending on what's going on the day. But absolutely, check me out. Of course, follow along on Twitter at Airborne Surfer. You can check out airbornesurfer.com, and of course, there's more antics over on the YouTube, youtube.com/Airborne Surfer. And I regret to say, until next time, ciao.